Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is part 4 of our WordPress on AWS series. If you haven't seen the previous part where we created a load balancer and added our WordPress instance as a target to load balancer DNS, you can click on I button to watch it. In this video, we will see how to migrate your domain from domain provider to AWS Route 53, how you can get a free SSL and point our domain address to load balancer, where we will see how to perform SSL offloading through load balancer. Let's see how we can achieve this through a live demo in our AWS account. First, let's recap our progress. We have created an EC2 instance as a virtual server, created an RDS instance for database, and created an application load balancer. Then added our WordPress website as a target for load balancer DNS. Currently, as we can see, we are accessing our website from load balancer DNS. Next, we will do a domain mapping through Route 53 pointing to our ALB instance, so we can access our website through our domain address instead of load balancer DNS. And for security, we will add SSL so any request coming to our website will be encrypted. Currently, you may see some errors on the website where images are not loading and some texts are not proper. This is expected. We will fix these errors once we have migrated to a domain name. I have purchased my domain from Namecheap, which is easy to use and their prices are competitively less. If you want to buy a domain from Namecheap, I have pasted our affiliation link in the description below. That way, you can help our channel a bit. If you have already bought the domain from any other provider, that's okay. It's a similar process to link the domain to Route 53. From AWS console, go to Route 53. Click on Get Started. Here, select Create Hosted Zones. You can also buy domains from AWS, but most of the time it's a bit pricey, so more often I buy domains from Namecheap. Click on Get Started. Type your domain name exactly without any spell mistakes. It's optional to add description, but it's always a good practice to add description when you have multiple domains. If you are hosting your application in intranet, which is private network, then you have to select private hosted zone, but we want it publicly accessible, so we will select public hosted zone here. Click on Create Hosted Zone. We can see our hosted zone is created successfully. Let me close this so you guys can see this better. By default, you will get two records for your domain, which are SOA and NS. We don't have to touch SOA record, but NS stands for name server record, which determine the location of your domain and help you manage mapping. We have to add these name servers to our domain provider so provider can know where is your DNS hosted. In my case, it's Namecheap. Let's add these records one by one to Namecheap. Under name server, select custom DNS. Add all 4 name server records. And save this. Now, a tricky thing about DNS is that it can sometimes take up to 48 hours to reflect, but generally it's just a couple of hours depending on your domain provider. We will do other setup while DNS name servers are being updated. On Route 53, we will create records to map our domain to our load balancer. So when anyone opens our domain URL, it shows your WordPress website from the load balancer. Click on Create Record. We will keep this blank. There are various DNS record types, so make sure to select a record here. Enable alias toggle. Select alias to application and classic load balancer. Select your region where you have created your load balancer. I will select North Virginia. And lastly, select our WordPress application load balancer. Keep everything else default and click on Create Records. Now, we will create a record to migrate traffic from www to our domain. So if anyone adds www in front of your domain, it will not throw error, rather it will redirect to your main domain. Add www record name. Again, make sure record type is A and turn on alias toggle. Choose alias to another record in this hosted zone and select our A record created previously and click create record. Now any traffic coming to www record will move to non-www record and that will go to load balancer DNS. We have added records for our domain name. Let's move to certificate manager to create a free SSL certificate for our domain. Click on request a certificate. It will be a public certificate. Click next. Enter your domain name here. Now, if you have any other subdomain, add that as well. But good practice is to add asterisk entry here. So this SSL can work for any subdomain you have or will create. In our case, this includes www entry as well. We will use DNS validation, keep key algorithm as default, and request a certificate. Click on view certificate. Status is pending validation, which is expected. If you don't see DNS entries here, don't worry, it's a bug. Refresh page and you can see entries you need to add to Route 53 to issue SSL certificate. Either you can manually add records or click create records in Route 53 button, which will add records to our hosted zone. We can see records is successfully added. Let's verify on Route 53 screen refresh page to see updated hosted zone. Here we can see CNAME record from certificate manager to validate our SSL certificate. Now certificate will be issued when DNS is reflected. Name server updation can take about a couple of hours. While we wait, I have a very kind request. Most of you watch the videos but don't subscribe.
दिल से बुरा लगता है यार.
Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free for you guys and it helps us a lot. Now let's go back to the AWS console. Here we can see our certificate is issued, but we can see it's not being used. Let's check our domain to make sure our entries are working or not. This looks great. We can see our WordPress site by accessing to our domain name, but we can see it's not secure. Let's add SSL on it to make sure requests are encrypted. Open EC2 console and go to load balancers. Select your WordPress load balancer and click on listeners and rules tab. We will add a HTTPS listener. Select protocol as HTTPS and port will be 443. Select WordPress target group. Keep everything else default and select your domain SSL certificate, which we issued a while ago. We will keep this as it is and click add. Now that we have created our 443 listener and added SSL certificate on it, we want to redirect all traffic coming from HTTP to HTTPS. We don't want people accessing our website in HTTP connection. Select HTTP listener and go to edit rules. Here select default rule and go to actions and click edit rules. Instead of redirecting traffic to target group, we will redirect port 80 traffic to port 443. Select redirect to URL and type 443 in port number here. Keep status code as 301 and save changes. Refresh and we can see we are redirecting HTTP requests to HTTPS. Now any request coming to HTTP will go to HTTPS and HTTPS will apply SSL on those requests via load balancer. and our server don't have to worry about doing SSL. So this is called SSL offloading. Let's see if this works or not. We can see our website is broken, which is expected, but now it has SSL on it. We are redirected to HTTPS and the connection is secure. Let's review SSL certificate. It looks good. Now you wonder why these images are not loading. Let me show you exact error. Here on console, we can see mixed content error. This means that our site is loaded via HTTPS with SSL, but our server is loading resources from HTTP URLs. Let's fix these errors. Go to EC2 console and connect to your instance via SSH from terminal, or you can use EC2 instance connect method. Once you are connected, change current directory to var www.html where our website is located. Here we have to edit wp-config.php file, which is WordPress configuration file. We will use Vim editor for it. To type in Vim editor, first press I key to get into insert mode. Now here we will add some block of code to tell WordPress server to use HTTPS protocol, and we will define our domain address as WordPress home and WordPress site URL. Make sure to add your domain with HTTP and exactly like this, otherwise you might get too many redirections error. I will add this block of code in the description below so you guys can refer from there. To save this file, press escape key, type colon and WQ, which is write and quit, and press enter. Now that this is done, let's check our website. Here we can see the WordPress site is loading images fine. We are also not seeing any error on console. This is great. In this part, we have created a hosted zone in Route 53 and changed name servers, created a SSL certificate. Here, refresh, and we can see it's being used now. And good news is that this SSL is absolutely free. And at the end, we applied this certificate on our domain, linked our domain to application load balancer, and resolved all the errors on the WordPress website. Before we conclude, please note that to use Route 53, there is a nominal charge of 50 cents per month is applied to your bill. Second important thing is that we have created our instance in public subnet. Here we can see it has a public IP. If you are following our series, you know our goal is to create a free and secure architecture, but AWS recently started charging for public IPs, and public IP usage cost is not covered under the free tier, so there will be a little amount on your bill every month. If you don't want to spend money on this, no worries. Soon we will create a tutorial on how you can migrate your existing EC2 instance to private subnet and avoid this cost. So do subscribe and click on bell icon so you don't miss out on that. This is it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. It's free for you guys, but it helps us a lot and motivates us to create free useful content. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. See you guys on the next part of our WordPress on AWS series. Until then, happy cloud computing.